Motel room. Marlo opened her laptop and typed in his name. The first article was 10 years old. Tate Hollister, founder of Hollister Precision Engineering, MIT class of 2006, holder of the T7 alloy patent, the same alloy currently cast into every engine block her company produced. He had left the company 3 years earlier, the article said, citing personal loss. Hollister Precision had gone private the same month. The patent had been transferred into a family trust. No interviews, no statement. The trade press had moved on after a week. There had been bigger collapses to write about that quarter. She looked at the photo for a long time. The man in it was younger and clean-shaven and almost smiling. She could see him in the man at the garage, and she could not see him at all. Her phone buzzed on the bedside table. She answered without looking. Marlo. It was Maddox Kerr, chairman of the Pierce board. His voice had the calm of someone who had already won several arguments she did not know they were having. I hear you're stranded in Boise. It's a casting flaw, she said. We'll have it by tomorrow. The board wants to vote on Phantom 7 next week. I'm flying down. I think we should hold the session there. Save you the drive. She hung up a minute later. She looked back at the photo on her screen. She looked at the dark window. 2 blocks away, a single light was still on in the back of a garage. She drove there in the morning. She did not bring coffee. She did not bring small talk. You're Tate Hollister of Hollister Precision, she said. He kept his hands on the engine for a moment. Then he wiped them on the rag in his back pocket, slower than the job required. That man died with my wife. He did not say more. She did not push. She watched his shoulders and saw the work it took for him to keep them where they were. From the back room, Junie came out clutching a folded piece of paper. A pencil drawing of a turbine, 3-bladed, careful. She showed it to her father first. He looked at it the way men in churches look at the things they love. Then she walked it over to Marlo. For you, Junie said. Marlo took it carefully, the way one takes a thing made of glass. Thank you. The 3 of them stood there a moment in the bay with the drawing between them. The light coming through the high windows of the shop made long, bright stripes on the concrete floor. None of them filled the silence. Later, Marlo told him about herself. Her father had founded Pierce Motor Works out of a converted aircraft hangar in 1994. She had taken over after his stroke. The board thought she was too young, too soft, too much her father's daughter. She talked about it the way Tate had talked about public school. He listened without correcting anything. He did not offer advice. He did not say he understood. He did not need to. When the alloy block was ready to set, he handed her a torque wrench to hold steady while he tightened a bolt. Her hand brushed his. Neither pulled away in the second it took for him to find the thread. The bolt seated. He nodded once. She set the wrench back on the bench. She did not move away from the engine. He did not move away from her. It was a small thing, and it was the first thing. The garage door rolled up at the end of the lot. 2 men walked in. The first was tall, gray at the temples, in a coat that had not come from Boise. Maddox Kerr. The second was a young assistant carrying a folio that was a size too large for the small bay. They moved with the particular quietness of men who were used to being noticed and were trying not to be noticed yet. Maddox looked at Tate, took in the oil and the coveralls, and did not bother to nod. Is the help here helping? Marlo did not introduce them. She watched Tate's face. Tate kept his eyes on the wrench. Maddox drew her aside near the office door. You're wasting time here, he said. I've arranged the board session for the day after tomorrow. Our satellite office downtown. I think it's time you came back to the city of grown-ups. He left. The assistant followed 2 steps behind, head down. The bay was quiet for a long second after the door swung shut. Tate set the wrench down without looking up. That's the chairman. That's the chairman. He doesn't know who I am. No, he doesn't. Tate finally looked at her. Let's keep it that way for now. The board session was set for Thursday morning. Marlo asked Tate to come, not as a founder, not as the man on the laptop screen, but as an independent engineering consultant. He shook his head. I don't go back into rooms like that. She did not argue. She said his name once and let it go. She left the garage and drove the long way back to the motel because she did not yet trust her face. That night she came by the house to return a coffee thermos she had borrowed at the garage. She did not have to return it that night. She told herself she did. Junie answered the door, lit up at the sight of her, and pulled her by the hand into the kitchen. Tate was at the table with a pile of small gears. teaching his daughter the difference between spur and helical. Marlo stood in the doorway watching them for a moment before either of them noticed her. The kitchen was small and clean, and the dish towel by the sink was folded the way her grandmother had folded dish towels. The refrigerator hummed. Junie tugged at her sleeve. "Are you staying for dinner?" Tate looked up. He did not say anything. She stayed. There was chicken and rice. There was conversation about the school play. Junie wanted to be a tree. Marlo asked what kind. Junie said an oak, because oaks had character. Tate watched the two of them across the table and ate slower than he usually ate. After Junie went to bed, Marlo and Tate sat at the kitchen table with 2 cups of coffee neither of them was drinking. "I don't need you to save the company," she said. "I need you in the room so I'm not standing alone." He looked at her for a long time. The kitchen clock made a sound. "Okay," he said. The next day, he went through the Phantom 7 from bumper to bumper. He found 3 design issues the Pierce engineering team had missed. A cooling line routed too close to a high-load joint, where vibration would over time create a hairline crack, and a slow coolant loss no diagnostic would catch until it was too late. A torque spec on the engine mounts that did not match the alloy's stress curve, and would, under a hard launch,